Hello, everyone. We are back for another episode, and I brought back with me again Sam Ritchie, the Sam Ritchie. So, let me tell you a little bit about Sam, just for those of you who may not remember. Sam is an angel guide. She works with angels. She specializes in space clearing in person and from a floor plan. She also reads oracle cards to give people clarity and confidence, and she does past life regression work. So, she also wrote a book, Echoes Within the Walls. And yes, they do talk. So you can definitely go get that on Amazon. And I've already started reading it. So I'm digging in. I'm like, oh, this is some cool stuff. So today we are going to be talking about past life regression. And Sam, just for some of our, people who are listening, tell us a little bit more. What got you into doing past life regression? Like, what
Okay,
got you to this point?
so past lives have always fascinated me because I have past life memory. And so the thing with having past life memory is you only remember the last bit, you know, the death bit. So that's not very pleasant. And so it's always intrigued me as into why do we only remember that bit and what information do our past lives hold that could help us in this life? Because I believe that there's a lesson in every lifetime. Some are big, some are small, but there's always lessons in every lifetime. So when I got the opportunity to study to do past life regression, I jumped on it because I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be interesting." And you know me very well now, Maisie. I get bored really easily. This is why I don't do healing modalities, because I find that it's a bit repetitive and can be boring. But past life regression, you never know where someone's going to go, what they're going to come across. And what was really exciting was when I started to do these sessions that I found that I could see what the other person could see. So I don't direct them, as in I don't tell them what I can see,
Yeah.
but I can say, look to your left, what's over in your on your left, what's on your right. So I can direct them to where to look if they're struggling, which I found very fascinating. But for me, it's like stepping into a film set, if you like,
Mm-hmm.
which so it's never ever boring. And the results my clients get is just confidence that they're on the right path and clarity about what lessons they need to bring forward. And we always, I don't just do it for fun. I do it to help my clients. So yes, it is interesting. Yes, it is fun. But what is the lesson you can bring from that lifetime into this one to help you?
Yeah. And we've done so I want to prepare everybody here who might be listening. Maybe you're into past life, maybe you're not. I think one of the biggest questions that we tend to ask is like, and I've asked you this even when I've done them, because I've done different hypnosis, classes too and sessions with people. And I'm like, is what I'm seeing real? Like, is this real?
Yeah, it definitely is. If you're seeing it in a past life regression session, it is definitely real. You're not making it up. As you know, you've had sessions with me, Maisie, and you
Yeah.
go into a deep relaxation.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could think it's your imagination, but it's not. You're actually entering and you're getting information that you didn't know. And you may
Yeah.
even meet people that are in your life this lifetime that were in your life last time or in a different
Yeah.
life.
I remember doing like a session with you, and I was like, Sam, is this real? Like in the middle of it. And you were like, at this moment, get the information. Like, so what if it is real? So what if it isn't real? So what? Like, get what are you telling yourself the information within that you need? And I remember
Yeah,
thinking, at the end of the day, none of this matters. This is either way, it's past. I'm
yeah,
not going through it currently. My body is not currently living in this, but I am experiencing relief. And I
yeah,
think that's one of the biggest things because I came to you for a money block. I kept saying, there's something
yeah.
here for money. I was like, something in my business. And we walked through different situations where
Yeah,
money was a previous issue.
yeah. And it's always fascinating to see how things like money blocks can be rooted in past lives. In, we could have signed a contract to be a monk. So we lived in poverty, or a nun, and we lived in poverty. And we've made that decision in that lifetime that we wouldn't have financial abundance or
Yeah.
material abundance, depending how far you go back, right? So we get to, and then we bring that with us. And that doesn't need to be our story now. We all deserve abundance. We all deserve health. We all deserve happiness. Just because, 20 lifetimes ago, you signed a contract that said that you would never marry and never have children, doesn't mean you have to have that this time. We can get through that. We can cancel those promises, those contracts that we made in past lives, so that we are free to be who we truly want to be and who we should be in this life. And we all deserve everything, abundance in every form.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Because if you're wanting something and you're craving it, and let's just say in business, since we have a lot of, business owners, if there's something that you want in your business and you feel like something's blocking you. I mean, that's where I was. That's where I was like, Sam, how would this help me? And if it's, again, if it's real or it isn't real, how can this help support me? And you were
Yeah.
like, you're getting information that your mind, your soul is literally telling you when you're not quiet enough to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. You're speaking directly to your higher self, to your soul.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether at the end of the session you feel that it was real or not. It doesn't matter as long as you've learnt that lesson.
Yeah. And I remember one that I was telling you, you talk about being poor in a previous life. I remember telling you, I started speaking in the language of, it was from Ireland. I told you my
Yeah,
parents were bread makers or something like that. And I was like, what language are we speaking?
Oh yeah, you said a word, didn't you?
I was talking
remember
about the swine in the backyard and something
Yeah,
else.
and you're
And
like,
I
"Oh,
don't remember
what
what
is
it was.
that?"
I was like,
Like,
swine. I said, I see
swine
pigs.
is a pig. Yeah. It's like, you were like,
And
I don't even know that word.
yeah, I was like, that word
That's
would
why you
never
don't
come out
need
of my
to.
mouth normally. Yeah. And I think overall, so let's back up a second and let's talk about how can you explain what past life regression is to somebody who's curious but also skeptical? So what can we explain it as?
Okay, so you go into a deep meditative state, right? So you're totally relaxed. So what I would recommend is that you're totally confident with the person who's taking you through past life regression. If you don't like them, don't do it with them, right? You need to feel safe. So you will be taken into a deep relaxation, and then you get to a corridor of doors. And depending what your issue is, I would say to you, okay, so Maisie, choose the door that will take you to the first time you had a money block, for example. Then you would open the door in your mind's eye, obviously, not physically open the door. And you step through, and we never know what's going to come in that door. But what I can say is you're not in that situation. It's more like you're watching a movie of yourself. You're not going to feel exactly, you're not going to feel any pain. You're not going to, physically start bleeding or anything like that. It's like watching a movie of your former self, and you may be a different sex, you may be a different color, you may you may be a child, you may be an adult, you may be an old person. You never know where you're going to come into that life and what that life holds. And then we explore that life and what that lifetime has to hold. And some people only go through one door. It depends how much information is behind that one door.
Yeah.
Some people, there's only one tiny little bit of information we need from that door. So then we come back into the corridor and we might go to another door. And at the end of the session, then I take you to, we could call it the boardroom or a white room, whatever you want to call it, where you meet your angels, your guides, or any loved ones who've passed that have got information for you to help you. So my goal is to walk you through so you get the information. Now, I don't give you any information. I guide you. I say, look left, look right. What do you see? I ask you questions about what you could see. I never give you any information. It's all coming directly from you. And it's always recorded, so you can listen back. We never record the beginning bit of the meditation because we don't want you to slip into that state when you're on your own. So I start the recording where it's safe to, and then we walk you through. And you get the information that you need at that time. And some people get a lot of information. Some people don't get very much at all. They might just get one word, and that one word will be enough. Other people just go into like the waiting room. It's what I call it, which is the place between this life and the next life. So before you get to the Akashic records, and for anyone who doesn't know what the Akashic records are, that's the bank where everything you've ever said, thought, done as a soul is kept. Some people just go into the waiting room there. They don't actually go any further than that, and that's fine because there's information there too.
Yeah. And I remember, and just to clarify for you guys, it's kind of, have done different hypnosis. I even did it in therapy, walking through just different scenarios, doing some EMDR work. I've done other forms of hypnosis. So I've tried them all for the sake of healing. But I think at the end of it, that's the biggest key piece, is bringing a healing to where you don't feel healed.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, it is fun. Yes, it is interesting, but that isn't the reason we do it. The reason we do it is to heal something from our past. When I've done it, obviously I don't do it myself. I probably could, but I haven't. I solved a thyroid issue I had.
Interesting.
Yeah, which was all about not showing my voice, being scared to have a voice. Well, clearly I've got over that now.
Yes, we are now visible and we are out there and we are speaking all. So what would you say, somebody comes to you, they're not really sure what to do, or they may be skeptical about it. What are some things that you can encourage them with of why this would be a beneficial piece to their healing?
Okay, it totally depends on the person. For a start off, I've got a lady, she's actually booked in for Friday, but she was like, I've done it before and I didn't feel safe. And I had met her a few times and I was like, okay, I don't want you to even contemplate doing this until you feel safe with me. That, for me, that's the most important thing. Someone's got to feel safe with me to be able to do it. And some people just will never do it because they will not let their own barriers down enough. And that's not intentional. I've got one client who I know very well. She's a very good friend, but she really wants to do it, but just can't do it because she's scared about what she'll find.
So let's talk about that for a second. Because I want to bring up some things. I was in I did another podcast episode with a lady for hypnosis, and she mentioned the same thing. She said, your mind is never going to take you where you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to see something that you're afraid of seeing.
Yep, exactly. So for me, that's all about confidence and trust in the person who's facilitating, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just a vehicle to help you. So for me, it's right. I want my client to know that they're totally safe. Know that whatever they see cannot hurt them in this lifetime, and to know that they're going to come out the other end feeling confident, or even with a stronger plan of where they're going, so that they benefit from that. And if they can't go further back, they always, I've only had 2 that couldn't, but they've come back and said, but we feel really relaxed, and they've booked the time, so I do a card reading. So it's like they're not going to leave with nothing. They've booked the time, they've paid me for my time, so they're going to get something. So if I couldn't facilitate what they were initially asking for, I make sure they leave here with something positive.
Yeah. And I think so at the end of the day, now I used to be somebody, it's kind of like dreams, like dream interpretations. Whatever you're seeing, you're giving your own interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm a vivid dreamer. Always have been. I could wake up the next morning, remember everything about a dream. I write it all down and I'm like, everything is a message. And that's how I feel. Anything and everything in this life that we are asking for something, we're going to get some kind of response. Like when I'm worried about something and, I'm driving down the road, inevitably it will happen every single time. I will see 888 on a license plate. And for me, that's a synchronicity of like calm and clarity.
Calm it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Let it go. Just be. It's fine. And I think we all have these signs and symbols. Do you feel that walking people through some past life regression can help to open up some of those messages?
Definitely. Definitely. And also put them on the track that they're meant to be. Whether they follow that track or don't is totally up to them, because we've all got free will, right? But it's like one lady, she went back to a past life island again. There tends to be a theme with my clients. They either have the same name, I have a lot of people with the same name, or they go back to Ireland, or the cards. Whenever I do card reading on a Tuesday night, when I do it live, there's always a theme. Like everyone's like, really again? So where was I going with that? Sorry. I lost my track. Yeah, so this woman went back to Ireland, and she was a herbalist in Ireland in way back when. And I didn't suggest. It was suggested to her that that's what she should be doing this lifetime. She decided not to do that. That's fine. That's totally up to her. But when she left here, she was like, I'm going to do that. Because that was what her soul said to her she should be doing. She decided that actually it was too much trouble and she didn't want to. That's fine, no problem. But if she'd followed that path, it would have led her down a very different life.
Right.
And that's not right or wrong. It would have just been different.
Yeah.
So we all have free will. So we can get these pieces of information and we could do what we want with them. And in the moment, we might be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then later on go, you know what? That means I've got to study for a long time. And she was an older lady as well. It's like, I don't really want to. That's fine.
But I mean,
you've got the information.
Yeah, you've got the information and even play. You don't have to go to school to do that and become that. No. You can just play.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So when it comes to feeling blocked, like I think that's a big reason why people come in and they say, you know, this is why I want to do a past life regression. I feel blocked. What are some emotional, physical, even success blocks? What are some things that past life can uncover or release whenever they do a session?
The main things that I see is fear. Because especially people in this sort of work, it's fear of being seen, fear of being recognized. For me personally, I have 4 past life memories where I was murdered for being a witch. So I spent years not wanting to be seen with my gifts. It's not safe. It's not safe. It's not safe. And this is what a lot of people that do similar work find, that they have these past lives, because we don't just wake up with these gifts. right?
Okay.
They I do believe everyone has these gifts, but some are more to the forefront than others. Yet, if we've done this work over lifetime and lifetime and lifetime, there is this tremendous fear that we're going to be attacked. What I will say is, I know with certainty that I will not be murdered this lifetime for it. And also, if I was, it doesn't hurt. Because when you get to that point where you're just about to die, the pain stops and you leave your body before the body's dead. It does not hurt.
Hmm. Have you done any near-death experiences to like account for that?
No, it's just my past life memory.
Okay. Okay. I was like, now I'm curious. Now I need to know what are we going to be talking about after this? What have you not told me?
No, 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 no. No, this is past life memory,
Okay.
right? It is like I don't know if is there a film where someone's got beaten and they've died, their spirits died lifted off their body and they're looking down. What film's that? I don't
Oh
know.
man,
Sliding
there's so
Doors,
many.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. Hey, it is like that. It
Hmm.
is like that. You just sort of the pain stops and you're watching.
So you've replayed some of your lifetimes where you've died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before I knew what I was doing, before I knew that's what it was.
Were
I would
you
be driving I would be driving along and suddenly I'd pass somewhere and have this flash of being chased through this area I was driving through.
That's crazy. And didn't you tell me that your daughter she used to
Oh yeah.
used to have fears of getting her head chopped off?
No, 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 that was me. That was
Oh,
me
that was
again.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I can't I couldn't, I haven't tried. I couldn't watch any films that I had to leave the room if someone was having their head chopped off. I
Hmm.
had to leave the room. It made me physically sick. My daughter used to talk about her other mummy when she was little. She used to always talk about her other mummy, which
Other
was really,
so
re-
tell us a little bit more about that.
so she was knee high to a grasshopper. Sorry, very English phraseology there. Very little. And she used to say, my other mummy didn't do it like this if I was putting her to bed or something. And she didn't say much, but she used to just say, my other mummy would do it this way, or my other mummy would say things like this, or my bedroom wasn't like this when I had my other mummy.
That's
It was very fascinating, and I tried to probe her, but she was like 2 or 3 years old and couldn't be probed. My children are free spirits. I can't imagine why.
have you met you?
um, so it was fascinating for a tiny child. And I don't quite understand why she's lost, because she's lost that memory. She said, I remember saying it, but I don't remember anything else.
Hmm.
Because I always used to probe her. I never made her wrong. I always used to encourage her to
Yeah,
talk about her other mummy. But she says she can't remember now. She's in her 20s now. She's like, yeah, I can't remember my other mummy.
that's crazy. My kids used to have terrible nightmare night. I did too. I used to have night terrors all the time of just different ways of dying and just and a lot of it was fear. Like I think it wasn't until I what was I doing? I started working with a business coach and she was encouraging me in my business to get out more, be more visible, be more seen, which same here, I had those issues. And she walked me through a just something to prep myself before bed, like writing with my opposite hand and just writing for encouragement. And I remember having a dream that night that walked me through literally whenever the eclipse comes, it's like it's not super bright. It's like you see the in between,
Yeah.
it's like twilight time. And I remember that's what I was going through in my dream. I remember I still to this day, this was years ago. And I remember walking through this dream and I wrote everything down. I emailed it to her the next morning and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then everything shifted in my dreams from there. Everything became a new message to wake up to. And like I said, I have very vivid dreams. So like I write them down every morning and dream interpretations. And like it's almost like I know when I wake up and I know when I'm going through it, this is the message. And so it's just,
Cool.
yeah, and it's, I feel like past life regression work is, and even hypnosis, I feel like they're all the same thing. It's a
Yeah,
guidance to an answer for a question that's either deep in your subconscious, maybe you don't think about it all the time, but I think it's something that you're literally looking for a response, an
yeah,
answer.
totally agree. Totally agree. It's another tool to get to your higher self, your soul, to get those answers that you're looking for that can guide you and help you lead the best life you can this time round.
Yeah. I remember,
Because if we could take all of the positives from our past lives and implement all those lessons this time, because this we're living in the great forgetting. Who said that? Someone said we're living in the great forgetting, and I love that, but I can't remember who said it. Because we have, how many lifetimes have we? I haven't met anyone who's not had a past life, right? So that means everyone has past life memories which we've suppressed, we've forgotten, not intentionally, right? But we've got all those lessons, all of that wisdom that we can't access on a normal day-to-day life. Some of us are fortunate that we can tap into that and we can learn to tap into that. It's like intuitives, I feel, is most of the time we're tapping into the field of potentiality, if you like. We're tapping into that knowledge that surrounds us. But that's practiced in past lives. People who are intuitive have been practicing that lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to the point they don't know what it is this time, but they know stuff. They just know without a shadow of a doubt and they can't explain why. And
yeah,
past life regression can help you access the why, if you like.
yeah. And well, and just like you're saying there, and I think what you're getting to, it's that subconscious communication. What,
Yeah,
getting to your higher self. It's your subconscious communication, but it's using imagery as a way to explain what answers you're trying to get and
yeah,
symbolism that you need to encourage. It's no different than, in my reality, if I've got a hummingbird that comes to my window because I love hummingbirds. And I remember one of my friends' moms used to say, well, I'm gonna come back as a hummingbird and I'm gonna peck I'm gonna pester the shit out of you. And there would be this little bird that literally, because apparently hummingbirds go back to the same place that they were before, and literally had mannerisms that I would recognize from her. Like this one little bird, we have two different windows, and it would chase off other hummingbirds that would try to come to the window. He would go back and forth, he, she, whatever, would go back and forth from one window to the next and like literally check in, take a couple of sips, and then go back to the other one. And then he'd go up to the tree and just sit there and wait. And if another bird tried to come through, he was like, nope, death to you. This is my family. And
yeah.
it's
And I have the same situation. I have a dear friend of mine passed away, and she always said, "I'm going to visit you as a bird," and she does.
and it's
She
like same mannerisms.
Yeah, and she's the only bird that actually sits on the wreckers, which is wreckers are iron railings. Sorry, I live in Spain, so I'm trying to use different words. Iron railings on my terrace, and she's the only one that does that. So I always know that is my friend.
I love that. And look, it's those messages, it's symbolism, it's
Yeah,
meaning. And
yeah,
everybody means, sees something different. If somebody sees a butterfly, oh, this is my dad. My dad used
yeah,
to, whatever. So I think that's more so. I encourage people to do some form of hypnosis or a meditation or something to get you out of the reality of things and get you
yeah,
more centered. Whether it's past life regression, whether you believe it, you don't believe it, it's it's really one of those things that can get you into a more calmer state and really bring in, I don't know, more meaning to your life.
Yeah, your inner knowledge, because it's all about you. It's also about self-care, right? Because even if you don't think it does anything, fine, whatever. I haven't got a problem with that. I really have no problem with skeptics at all. I think it's good to question. But it brings you into a relaxation state where you can get to your true self. Because also we have so much programming and so much outside influences that we lose ourselves in the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
Yeah.
We're busy running around, we're running a business, we're looking after the kids, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing blah blah blah, and we don't stop long enough to actually hear ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and I
And
think,
past life offers you an hour or so. I always leave 2 hours because we never know where we're going. Could be a long way away, might need 2 hours.
how many doors we're going to open.
Exactly. And I don't want to rush anyone, but that's time for yourself to connect with yourself.
Yeah. So I've got a question, and I think you have a beautiful way of explaining this. When somebody comes in to do a past life regression work, the information that they receive in said walkthrough at the end, how do you help them to integrate that into their everyday life, whatever that message was?
Okay, so as well as recording, I take notes, right? So I will write down what I see as well. If the person hasn't seen it, then I will write it down. And then we have a discussion afterwards. And I will probe, right, okay, what was the message? What do you think the message was? And then if the person doesn't get to the same place as I do, that's fine. But then I might probe a bit more so that they can see what I saw and they can see the message that I saw. If they've got a different message, that's not negating at all what their message was, because that is first and foremost the most important thing. But I will also go, could it mean this? So that it gets them thinking, go, oh yeah, it could mean that. Or no, definitely couldn't mean that. Either way is fine. There's no right or wrong. Everyone's experience is totally unique to them. So that they can then look at how they can integrate it. And if they want me to, if they say, Sam, how do you think I can integrate this? Then I will tell them what I think. But I'm not going to push my opinion on them, because at the end of the day, their opinion is much more important in their life than my opinion on their life.
Right. Yeah, that's like whenever I do sessions with clients, I always turn around and ask them, what is your definition of this? Why does this word keep coming up? If there's it's kind of like a lady we were talking about last week. We were talking about color therapy. And I said, I even asked her, do you hear colors? Like, do you hear meanings and messages from colors? And I mean, it's really intriguing because when I see a color, immediately I'm going to think of a definition. Like, it's just how my brain operates. I see green and I'm thinking safe and calm. If I see blue, I'm thinking more, water. My brain immediately goes to water. What does water do to me? And it just builds upon a definition. And I think that's a big key is you're just like I do with my clients, you do the same thing. And even having experience gone through a session with you, you don't ever tell me, oh, this is what it is.
No.
If there's something that doesn't resonate, you're like, okay, leave it. Leave it. Come,
Yeah.
like, circle back to it later if you want, or don't ever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is across the board of what I do. I believe that spiritual journey is a very, very personal one, and not a one size fits all.
Right.
So this, whenever you come to circle as well, that I do, and it's the same. If what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, leave it. No one else is correct in your life apart from you.
Right. If it doesn't resonate, leave it. And if it doesn't
Yeah.
fit the narrative, leave it. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not here to be written in stone. This is the thing. It's just like dream interpretations whenever clients, I had a client one time telling me about the same dream she kept having over and over and over. And I feel like, again, past life regression, meditation, all of those things are the same as having dreams. There's
Yeah.
messages, there's interpretations that come into there.
So many people go back to past lives in dreams.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So, and she was telling me about, her grandmother's house that she kept going to. And she said, inevitably, I'd get upstairs and a tiger would jump through. And I said, what does a tiger represent to you? Usually, tiger, if you're in fear of it, there's a predator. So, who in your life represents the tiger? And, and we walk through each of these things. And I've done this with many of my clients because when they have really vivid dreams, they're like, oh my gosh, this shook me. Like, what do I do with this? And I'm like, write it down. Write it down.
Yeah.
And then we'll just dissect it and see if it's something that resonates or throw it away. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't resonate with your healing, but maybe it's something that can move you forward. And I think the integration side of what you do and how you bring it from not just a curiosity space, because I mean, it's still curious to me. I still sit in some sessions and I'm like, Sam, is this even real? And you're like, back to work. Like, we're not going to have this conversation in the middle of it because now you're pulling yourself out of it. and and I love that because it's like I get into my doubt space and I'm like, what if any of this is just a thought? And you're like, so what if it's a thought that leads you to
Doesn't matter.
a different thought, a different meaning? And I'm like, okay, all right, yes, I'm listening. Because I'm one of those type A personalities. Like, I'm like, I don't like somebody else to be in control. I'm in control.
Yeah, and with past life regression, you are totally in control.
Yeah.
You are totally in control. And with you, it's when you think you're not in control, but you are. Right? It's like, but I don't know where I am. But you do. It's like, but you do. You know where you are.
Yeah.
You
Like
know
this
what you're
war
doing.
scene. I don't know if you remember that one where I told you I was like, we're in the middle of a war. People are
Yeah.
shooting people. What are we doing here? Why am I here? And you're like, look around. It's like, okay, back to it. What are we looking for? You're like, look to your left. And I'm like,
And you're
this is,
safe. You're always safe.
yeah,
You know, you're not actually physically in the middle of the war zone.
right. I am here in my office, sitting in
Yes.
the space of, okay, what are we doing? And again, the transformation. So like even after, some sessions, I've given you different just results that would come through and where I'm like, I don't feel like I worry about this anymore. Why did I worry
Fab.
about this before? Why was that a thing? You know?
And it's that it's getting rid of those illogical things that are holding us back that we don't need. You know, most of us don't need to be worried about being chased by a lion or a tiger or being in the middle of a battlefield. I know that's a bit changing a little bit right now, but you know, we're not going to be in the trenches, most of us,
Right.
now, right? Whereas, you know, I'm English, so we were in the trenches a lot. So most of us are not going to experience those sort of things again in this lifetime. We might experience them in different ways, but we're not going to experience them in this lifetime. So we don't need to be afraid of those things because the reality of it is, it isn't going to happen. I have a client who was petrified if an aeroplane went overhead if she was on the toilet. Petrified if an aeroplane went. She was and that is a past life blitz thing. You know, she was on the toilet in London in the Blitz and a bomb dropped.
Oh my gosh. And you walked her
Right.
through
But
that? She saw that?
yeah, but this is irrational this lifetime.
Yeah.
That lifetime, it wasn't. It was very real. But, you know, this lifetime where she lives is irrational.
Yeah. That's so, like, it's so interesting for what other people experience in fear. Like, I'm in fear of snakes. And some people are
Yeah.
like, snakes are the best things ever. And they'll just go pick them. I watch people on Instagram and reels, and they're like picking up snakes and they're like, look at this thing. This is a blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, chop its head off. It's a dead snake. That's what it is. They're like, it's friendly. And I'm like, no, it has a diamond head where I'm not even going to get close enough to see what kind of head it's got. It's just dead to me. Don't know what that is. Used to have nightmares all the time about snakes. So, like, something's there, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times fear, just like you said, like when it's not even necessarily feeling a block of
No.
why do I need to move forward? Why would hypnosis be the thing that I need to do? Why would past life regression be the thing that I need to do? It could be as simple as a fear that you just can't let go of. And it
Yeah.
feels irrational.
Yeah. I mean, how many people do we know that are scared of flying and things like that? Where does that come from? Yes, if you've had a traumatic flight in this lifetime, that could be where it come from. But if you haven't, where's it come from? If it's impacting your life, then it needs to be looked at in some way and find the way that suits you.
Yeah.
If it's impacting your life. If it's not, like, I don't expect you to come across many snakes. No.
We
See,
don't go in the
we
woods.
we have snakes in our garden, but thankfully I don't like them, but I'm not terrified of them. And I rarely see them. Right, it's not impacting my life, so I don't need to dig into why I don't particularly like them. They're slithery, horrible things. That's all I need to know. Spiders, however, I got bitten by a spider in my bed, and it's left scars on the back of my neck that look like cigarette burns because it was a nasty little. Right, so now I'm a little bit afraid of spiders.
I can only imagine.
Right, so I won't go to bed if there's a spider in my bedroom until
Mm.
someone removes it, and that someone is never me.
That would be like burn the house down for me. Burn it down.
Right, so but yes, it's a fear, but yes, I know it's this lifetime fear.
Yeah. So, what are some, let's talk about testimonials and results from some of your clients who had relief and were also able to go experience better things after doing sessions with you.
So one client found that her husband in this lifetime was her rescuer in another lifetime. And it just really, and he rescued her in this lifetime too, if I'm honest. And it really cemented that relationship that yes, he was who she thought he was. And it really made that relationship stronger by that knowingness, that yes, he was always going to be there. He was never going to let her down. Which I think sometimes if we've experienced relationship problems in the past, we can have that, are they going to leave us?
Yeah.
And what that gave her was the sense that he wasn't going anywhere because he'd done it in the last lifetime. He literally rescued her from the corner of the road in the last lifetime. And it was beautiful, actually. It was really beautiful. Other things, just clarity that they're doing the right thing as well. That's a big one. That's a big one. Knowing that people are on the right path and they're strong enough to do it and they're not going to be persecuted is a really big one.
Yeah. And just freedom to
Yeah.
express, freedom to
Yeah.
move forward, freedom to choose.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot that goes into, again, that interpretation, whatever messages come through to you, whether it's a dream, it's a reading, it's a whatever. It's
Yeah.
an interpretation. What do you interpret that to be and what intention? And I say this all the time. You've even heard me say this a lot. Intention is everything. What
Absolutely.
intention are you putting into it that says, this is how I'm going to make this better? This is how I'm going to move forward with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's circle it back in of what would you say to the woman who feels something is off right now, but she can't explain why?
Try past life regression. If you don't know what it is, and you can't pinpoint what something is holding you back from whatever in your life, try it. It is definitely not going to hurt you. You're not going to feel any discomfort while you experience past life regression, and you may actually get to the answer. And if you don't in a past life, when you meet your angels and guides and loved ones who have passed, they might have the answer for you. So the answer will be somewhere. It's just finding the right place. And past life regression could be that place. If it doesn't resonate with you, try other things, right?
Yeah.
But just keep looking until you find the answer. What is that? Why are things? Why does it feel like walking through treacle? Okay, let's explore that.
Yeah. And you brought up something important as far as, again, interpretation. What's the message? It's almost like, you go to people for wisdom. Like I came to you for wisdom originally, and we got connected, podcast, everything, and then just became friends and kept staying in touch.
Yeah.
And I love that. But I mean, I look to you a lot of times for wisdom. I look to, some of my friends for wisdom or support, parents, just people in my life. And if somebody doesn't have the answer, I'm going to go to somebody else who I
Yeah.
feel might give the answer. So, and that also makes me think, number one, we're just living a soul experience in a human body,
Yeah.
because if you're constant, it's confirmation bias. If you're constantly looking for a yes, or you're looking for permission, eventually somewhere you're going to find it, because that's what you're looking for. That's your line of vision. Somebody's going to tell me yes. Somebody's going to give me the answer that is just like, boom, it explains everything, even if I can't put it into words.
Yeah.
But it's the same on the opposite. In the, and what is it called? Antithesis, the
I
negative
have
side,
no clue.
where people, we're just in two different spaces right now. Anyway, where people are looking for the negative, tell me this isn't real. Then you're going to have
Yeah,
more people come up with answers. This isn't real. And this isn't, whatever. This is whatever.
yeah, but it all starts with you,
Right.
right? So no one holds the answer for you apart from you. Other people can help you facilitate finding the answer for you. But like you say, if you want someone to tell you how amazing you are and how wonderful you are, then you will find that person. And if you want them to tell you you're crap and you don't deserve anything, again, you'll find that person. If you're starting with yourself and say, okay, what do I need to know? What do I need to learn? Where can I get that help to look inside me? Because you know what? And you've heard me say this loads. No one else's opinion of you matters. It's none of your business. What someone else thinks of you is none of your business. It's what you think of you. So you've got to get yourself in that place where you go, and it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I was a people pleaser for most of my life, right?
Are you talking to me
Getting to
right
the
now?
point, getting to the point where you go, you know what? I don't care what they think. My people will be my people no matter what, right? The rest can do one. They're not my people. No one is everyone's cup of tea. They're just not. And that's
Yeah.
fine. So you just have to be yourself and unapologetically yourself, because everyone else is taken. And no one's, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. So if you're looking for that confirmation, you've got to find it in yourself. However, you you do. There's no right or wrong way, but you have to get happy with yourself.
Well, and I think when you're looking for confirmation in something, it means you already have the answer for what you already believe.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something different, if you're looking to change that perspective, so if I feel, oh, I don't deserve to be seen, I'm not worthy, blah, 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 then I'm going to feel that and I'm going to say those things to myself. I may not directly say, I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy. I might
But you
say,
will see it. You'll see it in the outside world
that's
reflected
right.
back to
And
you.
you'll hear it, yeah, reflected back to you from other people's comments. But something you just said shifts the entire game. What else can I learn from this? And when you start asking questions, I feel like that's when you start finding true answers
And
within.
I believe that this lifetime, that's what we're here to do. We're told so much. Do not question.
Don't
Do
question.
not question. Just follow the narrative, right? And
Yep.
that is our biggest lesson. Question everything,
Everything. Yes.
including ourselves.
I was that annoying
Don't
kid in
take
school.
anything for read, you know. It's anything, it can be just someone else's opinion.
Yes. Like, I feel like we're on the same thing. I was that annoying kid in school who would always raise my hand and ask the teachers, but
Why? I still do that.
why are we doing it?
Not
In
in
fact,
school, obviously, but I'm like, why?
it
Anytime.
happened even recently. And I remember I would ask my mom to the point when I was a kid, my mom could even sit here and testify for this. I would ask my mom why so many times, and she would get to a point, I don't know, ask God whenever you get to heaven. I'm like, okay, fine, because you clearly weren't given the answers. I will have to ask him myself. And I
Now,
remember,
I don't, you see, I question everything. However, I don't need to understand everything, right? So, like, I don't understand how my space clearing works. I know it works, right? So I don't know how really. I know that we're all energy and that's what I'm doing. How exactly I can explain. I know it works. And that's all I need to know. But I question everything. And you know that I've started doing animal communication, right?
mhm,
And I was like, I'm trying this out before I tell people I do this. I don't need to know exactly how I'm doing it. All I need to know is it works.
yeah,
So I don't need to understand exactly how everything works, but I need to know it works. So whenever I look into something, I don't need to necessarily, I check in with my intuition. How does that feel with me? I don't need to understand how electric works, right? I want to turn my light switch on. When it doesn't work, it's pain. Right? When Zoom is slow to upload, it's a pain.
well, we experienced that this morning. I see, and I was that person of like, give me understanding, consistently give me understanding. And when I don't know the how of something, it drives me nuts. But I have gotten better in my older and, more wiser years of literally sitting here saying, I'm just going to have to let it be. And at some point, the answers will come. And they
Yeah.
do in the
I
crazy.
just find that checking in with my own intuition, I question everything and then I check in with my intuition. Does that seem right to me? Yes or no? And yes or no has no judgment attached to either side, right? So it's like, that doesn't make sense to my brain. So I'm going to leave that over there. Oh, that does. So I'm going to take that. And that is throughout my life in every area of my life. If it makes sense to me, I take it. If it doesn't, and I leave it. And
Mhm.
that doesn't mean to say that I need to know exactly how my car works, because I don't.
Yeah. Well, again, everything is interpretation. It's your
Yeah,
own. We're just circling it back to the beginning of the
we
conversation.
are.
It's just interpretation, and it's whatever your interpretation is. Two of
Yeah,
us could hear the same message. We could be watching the same movie, and we could hear something that two different people spoke in a movie. And we
yeah,
both got two different experiences of what was going on in the movie.
yeah. A fine example of that is Titanic, right? The film Titanic.
Yes.
At the end, I'm like, she dies at the end. My kids are like, she doesn't die at the end. And like, to me, she dies at the end. That's how I've mocked that up. I mean, you don't see her dying, but she dies at the end.
She's
They're
going to
like, she
die at some
doesn't
point.
die at the end. But we've watched the same whole film, but we've got two different endings.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like listening to the same song and getting a different message. Oh, well, this is what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. Although it is frustrating when the artist gets the words wrong.
Well, they should work on that. All right. So we are at our time, but tell people how they can get connected with you and if they want to do a past life regression session with you.
Okay, so you can contact me on my website, which is samangelguide.com, or find me on Facebook, which is samangelguide.com, and just send me a direct message and I will get back to you and we'll book you in.
Yeah. And y'all, look, it's powerful. I have definitely got some great messages from my higher self, regardless of the imagery. I've gotten some great messages that have definitely moved me in a better direction in business and just my own personal power, taking back my own personal power and not being bullied or tolerating things that I don't need to tolerate. So, and that's a thanks to you for walking me through my own
Thank you for trusting
interpretation.
me.
Absolutely. That's why I send everybody to you. And they're like, hey, do you have somebody for this? I'm like, you should go see Sam. And which is what I'm going to tell you guys. You should go see Sam. So, all right. Thank you so much for your time today. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.